Hello, Newstory.
Hello, Newstory. We hope you have a blessed day and enjoy the sermon.
Hello, Newstory. We're so glad you could be with us today.
Hello, Newstory.
Hello, Newstory.
Hello, Newstory.
Hola, bonjour. Hello, Newstory.
Hello, Newstory.
Hello, Newstory. What's that sound?
Hi, my name is Lucy, and I'm happy to see you all again.
Hi, church. Welcome to New Story.
Good morning, Newstory. It's
morning.
good to be with y'all. Woo, woo, woo.
Y'all are excited back there. I hear. Okay.
I know. Some energy. I like it.
I know.
like it. And to everyone downstairs eating lox and bagels and snacks, we are
Starting.
starting, just so you know.
There's a group down there hoarding food. Yeah.
We do. We need a gong. We need like a gong. Very good. How was your week?
My week was pretty good. I think it was pretty busy. I've just been really busy. I know we've both been in this season of like busyness, and so every week I'll be like, oh, it's gonna be chill, and then it's not. So yeah, another week of busyness. But watching March Madness, lots of disappointments there.
Let me tell you, my bracket, this has been the weirdest tournament.
Yeah.
Like, all the lower seeds keep winning.
Yeah, I think there's been like
Except for the ones that
record.
I picked to win. Those
Yeah.
haven't won. But
And in case you're wondering, most people outside of me and Matt probably don't care about this conversation right now at Newstory.
no, I know Nicole does because I see her posts on
yeah.
Facebook.
And Dimitri there.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. We got five people?
See?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
we're
Yeah.
building one person at a time. That's right.
How was your week?
My week was good. It was busy, so I worked all week and then flew on Thursday night to Phoenix I was leading a seminar for some Methodist pastors in downtown Phoenix, and then I got in at 1 a.m. this morning from Phoenix, and I'm here.
And you're
I'm
here.
wide awake. I'm
Yeah.
good.
You can sleep after. Take a nap after.
It was actually really good. It was a fun, really great group of like open-minded and excited to try new things.
Yeah.
Pastors. So yeah, it was great. It was great.
It's good. Well, speaking of fun, I have some questions.
Okay.
Well, we have some fun questions and some like maybe not so fun questions for us. So everybody knows like March and April are the best part of the year, clearly in Chicago. Just being completely facetious. So March and April are not always that fun because of the weather. So first question, if you could be anywhere else in the world right now, away from March and April Chicago weather, where would you be?
I would be in Maui.
In Maui. Y'all love Hawaii.
I know. I do. Well, especially like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. March is my absolute least favorite month, this Thursday baseball season starts.
Okay.
So we will be at opening day. I'm excited about that. But besides that, I don't like March.
Anybody
The
like
weather.
March or April in Chicago? Anybody like a really big fan? Carrie Ann's like, meh, you could do without it. Anybody? Okay, where would y'all go if you could be anywhere else in the world right now, away from the weather? Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Okay. Portugal.
Portugal,
I have a friend in
okay.
Portugal, and they have like similar weather right now. It looked like it was really overcast. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, but Portugal. Change it. Just kidding. Anywhere else? Mexico. Okay, you went. You just had like an epic trip. Yeah. Okay. So you go back to Mexico. Any other places? San Antonio. Okay. Why San Antonio? Fiesta. Okay. Nice. Okay. Florida.
yeah.
Okay. But you're coming back, right? We're not going to stay in Florida. Okay. There you go. Okay. So second question. Is there anything that you all actually like about March and April or like springtime in Chicago?
I mean, Oh, in Chicago?
Yeah, like
I mean, baseball season starts.
Baseball season, yeah.
That's
the
yeah.
Cubs. I hear
That's
some
what I
clapping.
like.
The flowers. Okay. Anyone else like the flowers when they finally get here in May? No, I'm just kidding. They probably will. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Does anybody go see the cherry blossoms here? Where do they like? Where's a good place to see them? No? We don't do a whole lot, apparently.
No, not. I mean, that's why we hate March.
We stay
That's the
inside.
problem.
Or we do the... What? St. Patrick's Day. And what was
yeah.
the run today? Shamrock
Oh yeah,
Shuffle.
Several people did the run this morning.
And are enjoying the after festivities.
I like how Chicago, like, because there's nothing going on in March, they're like, let's take St. Patrick's Day and spread it out over 3 weeks. So like we'll turn the river green the week before, and then the week after we'll do all these parties and festivities, and then the week after that we'll do a run. So like, just to distract us from.
Yeah.
See, even Chicago knows March is miserable.
Is the Shamrock Shuffle a race? Is it a run? How far is it? 8K. Okay. My sister sent me this thing, and it was like, nobody would run a marathon if they couldn't like post and brag about it. And I was like, you know what? That's true. Like if you couldn't post about it, you couldn't tell anybody that you were running a marathon. Like who would run a marathon? Like that's a cool thing to brag about. But if you couldn't, I mean, I'm not running a marathon anyway. But I don't even like running across the street.
Posting it's just still not enough incentive for me.
Right.
I could bike a marathon.
Yeah, that's fine. Was it 26 miles? I could do that on my bike. Yeah.
Easy.
So you had a question too, which is
Yeah,
going
so we're wrapping up our human sexuality series this morning, talking about dating and singleness and things like that. And so I just was wondering if you had any, PG-13, let's say, or less, dating snafus or stories about dating gone wrong.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a couple. So there was one, I mean, it was just kind of really awkward. I've had more than my fair share, I'm sure. And I've probably been somebody's story too, so I'm mindful of that. But yeah, I went on a date years ago. It was probably like 10 years ago. On like dating, I think it was like OkCupid. Anybody? Okay, I know it's still around, but did like anybody use OkCupid like back? Yeah, no, okay, whatever. Hey, I was even like on the Craigslist personals, like for those of you who remember those things. Craigslist is still around. But I had met up with somebody I'd met on a dating app, and it just got like, the conversation got really awkward. And at one point, the person I was on the date with started talking about their 6 toes. And I was just like everything that this person kept bringing up was just like really awkward things that like you wouldn't necessarily bring up on a first date. And I was like, that was just this strange. He's like, and he said it so casually, like, yeah, I have 6 toes on like each foot. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. It was, I mean, no, it's just a weird thing to bring up on like a first date.
Did he didn't try to show you
No. It would have been
Over
really
dinner?
awkward. Yeah, it was.
Check this out.
I can't remember the rest of it, but I remember the whole conversation just being strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't ask permission to share this story.
Uh-oh.
So my wife is back there, her eyes open. So when Angie and I were dating, I think that I was probably graduated and you were a senior when we got in that argument. We went to some after dance party at someone's house. We got in a little argument, so we went for a little drive, and we made up. And while we were making up, in the high school parking lot, all of a sudden, this bright light shines in our front window. Our seats were laid back, obviously, and so we sit up really quick, and there's 2 police officers looking into our car, and we're like, we were having an argument. And so he's like, it was like 2:30 in the morning, so it was like way past curfew. So he's like, I'm gonna have to call your parents. And so obviously they called her parents, and they're like, would you like us to escort Miss Springer home and send Matt on his way, or would you like us to just let him bring her home? And Angie's parents were very gracious. They actually were laughing when we showed up, so it wasn't too bad. But that was quite embarrassing moment. I was also a leader in the youth group.
Shame.
I know.
For shame.
Yeah, for shame. So that was one of them. Another.
You were sex positive.
I was. You know it. Okay, so So I also had, when I was a junior in high school, I lived up in the Seattle area, and I went to this very conservative Christian school, and they wouldn't do a prom because dancing, you know. So we did like this spring formal, basically. And so the girl that I went with, who I liked, and her dad was super like he didn't even want her to go. Like when I asked her, she like had to beg him to let her go. So like he was just very, you know, he had some strong rules and thoughts about dating. So after it's not prom, I don't know what you even call it, the formal, we went down to the beach with some friends, and we're like, oh, let's finish the night off by taking the Whidbey Island ferry, and we'll take it back, and then we'll come home.
I heard this. Yeah, you told me this.
Yeah, so we get on the ferry, and we're like riding the ferry across, you know, to Whidbey Island, and it's beautiful, and it's late at night, and we're having fun, and all of a sudden, the person comes over the announcement, and they're like, everyone, you know, we're approaching Whidbey Island, everyone's going to need to get off the boat, so, you know, gather your stuff, and da-da-da. And I thought, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, everyone has to get off the boat. Like, surely it's not staying here. Like, it's got to be going back, right? No, it doesn't. It docks at Whidbey Island, and it stays there. And Whidbey Island, there's one way to get to Whidbey Island by vehicle, but you have to drive, like, through Seattle, through Federal Way, all the way down and around and back up, and then there's like this bridge that will let you go on the island. And it's like a 5-hour drive. Like, this is not an easy drive. So we get off the island. We have no money. We have no car. Everything is closed. All the lights are out, and we're like, well, we're just gonna like, and this will date me, but like there wasn't cell phones at the time. That wasn't a thing that existed in our world. So we're like walking the streets of Whidbey Island. So when you get off the ferry, you go up this hill, and there's this little town. Nothing is open. So we see this motel, like an outdoor motel. So we go up to the outdoor motel, and the light is on in sort of the office room, but obviously I think whoever owned the motel also ran it and lived in that space. And so we're like knocking on the window, and they opened and let us in and like fed us, like made us a pizza. And so my girlfriend calls her dad, and I could hear him on the phone. He was so angry. And she's like, well, I mean, I guess you can come get us, but by the time you get here, like literally the ferry will be ready to leave, like, you know, and he's like, no, I'm coming. We're coming. You just, you know, sit tight and we'll be there. So like literally drove all the way around. When he showed up to pick us up, the ferry was starting to board. And he's like, get in the car, and I had to ride all the way back with them. Like, oh my gosh, that was a nightmare. That's maybe my worst dating story.
I'm trying to think of one. So funny one. So one where I got in trouble. This was like pre-dating story. I was probably like 12. Anybody ever got caught like making out by their parents or doing anything else by their parents? So I have a funny story about that. I was like 12, and I was at my house. My dad had gotten home. I was watching a movie with one of my good friends at the time. I don't even remember what we were watching, something on VHS. It's like mid-90s. And my dad goes in the back, but in our house, like my dad's door, you could always hear it. Like no matter what, like if he goes in and out of that door, you could hear it, or so I thought. So we're sitting on the couch, and I'm like play fighting with my friend, and I get in his face, and he's like, if you do that again, I'm gonna kiss you. And I'm like, but we're like 12. I'm like, you're not gonna do that. So I do it again, and he starts kissing me. So we're kissing, and then I just hear, and I turn around to my dad, big, like kind of burly guy, and he's just standing there. And when I tell you I've never seen a little boy get up and like float out of a like living room so fast, he's just like, I think it's time for me to go. And he's like gets up, bolts out the door. And so I was so scared. I just sat on the couch watching the TV, and in like VHS, like credits had run, end of the VHS, my dad is in the kitchen. I see him in my like periphery. I'm still watching the TV. Like the movie is done. It's a black screen. He's just like sitting in there. And all he does, he like comes back in. I'm sitting there for like 10 minutes just watching this blank screen. And he's just like, he's probably watching this now because he always watches the live. He probably remembers this. He just was like, that's a no-no. And he just walked away, and it never came up again. And I thought I was gonna die. I thought we were both gonna die. Like my dad was gonna lock the door. We were both gonna disappear. But it was a funny, like I will never forget the clearing of that throat. Like behind you, that's the most terrifying sound you could ever imagine. He never brought it up, and he probably was too embarrassed or scared to bring it up, but it was a very, like, predating,
I love it.
terrifying snafu.
Nice.
It was funny, though.
Fun,
It's
fun.
funny in hindsight. Funny in hindsight, not at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk announcements really quick.
Yeah, Jack,
We
do you
went
have
on.
the announcements up there? We have quite a couple. I think I put them in order. There we go. Fish fry! Anybody see the newsletter? So Granville Ave United Methodist Church is where we're actually worshiping. The church is going to have a fish fry on Friday. It's $10. That'll include all like the dinner. If you want to come, there's a sign up. Is it back there? Do we put the sign up sheet in the back here?
Question mark?
Yes. Well, if you want to sign up, let us know. There should be a sign up sheet maybe. Is there one back there? Maybe. Well, I'll find it. There's a sign-up sheet so we can let them know how many people are coming. But that'll be Friday from 5 to 7 here in the